Hi everyone, and thanks for visiting the Horizon League Network with Adam Coppinger. I'm Damon Lewis, and today we're here to announce the postseason honors for the Horizon League in men's basketball. Boy, we got some pretty big names up and down this list in front of us.
Yeah, a lot of names. We got a full first team, second team, newcomer team, a lot of things to talk about.
Let's go ahead and get started, though, first with the people running the show on the sidelines. No big surprise here. Brad Stevens named Coach of the Year here in the Horizon League.
When you go undefeated, you're most likely to win Coach of the Year. And there really wasn't any other coach that I could have even made any sort of justification for voting for. There's a big turnaround in Detroit, but they still didn't even go above 500 in the league. You go undefeated, you go 18-0, first team to ever do that in our league. You deserve Coach of the Year.
18-0 and also 6 games clear of second place wright-state. Awfully impressive. Let's go ahead and name our next winner. That is the 6th man of the year. Sometimes I don't want to say a forgotten position, but a very important one. In this year's winner, Walt Gibler of Loyola, very deserving candidate.
Yeah, 6'7" Gilbert from Loyola. Did a lot of things for this team. Scored from the inside, scored from the outside. We actually did a game of the week where he got his only start of the year at Wright-State. He's just a player that does a lot of little things well, that isn't going to make a whole lot of mistakes, shoots really well from the field, and did a nice job for Coach Weitzel this year.
Odd that you mentioned that game that we did, our Horizon League Network game of the week, where it was his only start of the season against Wright-State. He didn't have a great game, really, against Wright-State. Went back and started coming back off the bench and really finished out his junior campaign strong. He'll obviously be back for Jim Weitzel and company next season. Let's go ahead now and talk about the all-defensive team, and we'll start out with the Defensive Player of the Year, but this year it's Defensive Players of the Year, Ron Nord of Butler University and Woody Payne of the Detroit Titans.
Yeah, 2 point guards, 2 real pesky on-ball defenders, especially for Detroit. Woody Payne's playing a lot of full court, and his steals, his steal numbers were incredible. Ron Nord's steal numbers aren't great, but that's not always the best way to determine how good of an on-ball defender. You can ask John Diebler from Ohio State. You can ask Clarence Jackson from Siena in the second half of that game. And Brandon Wood got 5.5 points per game against Butler with Ron Nord guarding him. So 2 really good on-ball defenders.
They're joined on the all-defensive team by Butler's Willie Veasley, Cleveland State's DeAndre Brown, who actually led the Horizon League in steals this season, and Vaughn Duggins of Wright State University. Someone not always thought of as being a great defensive player, but certainly draws tough assignments for Brad Brownell's team.
He's strong, and at that size, 6'3", 195, he can guard a lot of positions in our league.
Let's go ahead and now move on to the all-newcomer team. And if you're a fan of the Valparaiso Crusaders or the Detroit Titans, you're going to like what you see right here. Let's start with the newcomer of the year. No huge surprise here. Brandon Wood of the Valparaiso Crusaders.
Yeah, scored a ton of points for Coach Drew. Transfer, just a kid who shot really well from the field while scoring his points. He's not just a volume shooter, and not a guy that's going to have to put up 20 shots to get 20 points. A good perimeter player, but also a guy that can get his hand in on defense and get some points going the other way easy.
17.5 points per game for Homer Drew's team this year. Shot over 46% from the field. He's joined on the all-newcomer team by Detroit Titans and Valparaiso Crusaders, as you can see. Chase Simon, Eli Holman, and Xavier Keeling from the Titans. And Wood is joined by his teammate Corey Johnson, another transfer for Homer Drew's ball club.
To me, these were the clear 5 best newcomers in the league. They just happen to come from 2 teams. Keeling being kind of a little bit of a strange case because he did play some conference games last year, but still counts as a newcomer.
That's right. Didn't play enough games really to qualify for a full season, obviously, but all 5 of those guys, no big surprise, all of them obviously very deserving. Now let's go ahead and get to the 2 teams that people care the most about, obviously. The first team and the second team. We're going to start with the second team and show you all 5 right here. It starts with Vaughn Duggins of Wright State, Brandon Wood of Valparaiso, Ricky Franklin, a senior up in Milwaukee for Rob Jeter, Chase Simon of the Detroit Titans, and Corey Johnson from the Valparaiso Crusaders. Adam, your thoughts on this second team?
3 newcomers, 3 of the guys from the all-newcomer team we just talked about, but Ricky Franklin, a senior who's played 4 years in this league and has been a kid who's done everything for them. When they needed outside shooting at one point this year, he started shooting from about 3 feet behind the line, and a guy who you can really point to as being the catalyst in their recent run here down the stretch.
That's right. They got all the way up to the number 4 seed in the Horizon League tournament, thanks in large part to Ricky Franklin. I don't want to say I started making the case for him, but it was a few weeks ago on an episode of 2 Cents where I said, hey, Ricky Franklin's having quite a year. It's good to see him make this second team. And then obviously the newcomers you mentioned, Wood and Johnson from Valpo, Chase Simon, who scored over 14 points a game for the Detroit Titans, and Vaughn Duggins, a bounce-back year for Brad Brownell's team.
A great year for Vaughn Duggins to be on the all-defensive team, and Gardner votes for the second team all-league. That's a really strong year for him.
Now let's go ahead and move on, obviously, to the All-Horizon League first team. We'll start by announcing The player of the year in the Horizon League this year, Gordon Hayward of the Butler Bulldogs. Kid just does it all, and he's only a sophomore.
He does everything. Who knows how long he'll be doing everything in our league. He's that type of player. 11 double-doubles this year. It's really the biggest improvement I've seen in his game from last year to this year is rebounding. He's an incredible rebounder. If he gets his hand on it, he snaps that ball in between his two hands and makes a nice pop. He does it all the time here in Hinkle Fieldhouse. And he's just a kid who is really efficient and does everything well, has a great basketball IQ.
Almost 16 points per game, over 8 rebounds a game, shot 48% from the field. A great sophomore campaign for last year's newcomer of the year. That's Gordon Hayward. Second member of the All-Horizon League first team comes from the Green Bay Phoenix, and that is Ramon Fletcher, junior out of Kansas City, Missouri. Over 16 points per game, 3 assists, 47% field goal percentage this season. Had some struggles at times, but really got things going down the stretch to propel Green Bay all the way up to the number 3 spot.
An incredibly efficient scorer for such a small guy. I think he's listed 5'10", 165, and he shoots a really high percentage from the field. That's not easy to do, and you don't see that from a lot of guys his size around the country. And he gets steals. He's third in the league in steals. I mean, he's a guy who's a little bit pesky on defense. He's not known for that, but to score like that and to do a little bit of something on defense, that's why Coach Kowalczyk calls him the best mid-major point guard in America.
Third member of the All-Horizon League first team comes from the Cleveland State Vikings. Norris Cole, I know a guy that you really like, Adam, a guy that I know you like to think of as the best leader in the Horizon League, a guy that really gets the Vikings together and makes them successful.
The best leader, the best floor general. I think you can make an argument that he could have been on the all-defensive team. He's on the all-Adam Coppinger team. I know that. I really like watching him play. The closer you are to the court when you watch him play, the more you see that he does. He's a good shooter, great mid-range, and he's had to take the leadership role from Cedric Jackson. He's done such a really great job for Coach Waters this year.
16 points per game, over 4 assists, and shot 81% from the free throw line. Fourth member of the All-Horizon League first team, another sophomore, a little bit of a youth movement. We'll talk about it in a minute. Sophomore Shelvin Mack of the Butler Bulldogs.
Another player who's really consistent for the Bulldogs. Maybe one of their more consistent players, especially more consistent than the guys like Ron Nord and Willie Veasley scoring the basketball. He had over 20 straight games where he got double figures in scoring. He's just a guy where if they get going in transition, get him the ball in transition. He's a great jump shooter. He's got a good mid-range game, and he's improved defensively this year as well.
Loves to pull up in transition and knock down three-pointers from the wing, does it time and time again. Almost 14 points a game for Mack this year, over 3 assists. Another one of those guys that has kind of done it all for his ball club. Final member of the All-Horizon League first team, also a Butler Bulldog, Matt Howard, joins the first team after being the player of the year last year in the Horizon League.
Once again, when you win all the games and you're in first place by 6 games, you're going to get a lot of recognition, and they've certainly got that in the postseason awards. He leads the conference in plus minus. When he's on the court, his team is more successful than any other player in the league, and it's by almost 20%. The guy, when he's on the court, is really, really tough to stop, and he makes his teammates a lot better.
It seems, obviously, from all the expectations and the type of year he had last year, that Matt Howard may have had a down season. Well, that may be true. He may be down a little bit, but it was down for Matt Howard's standards. 12 points, 5 rebounds. You're shooting 48% from the field. You're an All-Horizon League first teamer, and he obviously came on strong down the stretch. So we've now announced all the league teams. Adam, any omissions that you see, anything that jumped out at you for maybe someone that deserved a little more?
Eli Holman from Detroit. I think he could have been in the mix for newcomer of the year. Certainly being on the all-newcomer team. Defensive player of the year. He led the league in blocks by over a block per game. And he's I don't even think he's averaging 30 minutes a game, so he's blocking shots at a really good rate. He's one of the best field goal percentage guys in the league, really efficient scorer. If you don't watch them play a lot, or if you catch them on the wrong night, if he gets in foul trouble, sometimes he can get a little bit discombobulated out there. But when he gets minutes, when he's been getting 30, 35 minutes, I think he's one of the impact players in the league. And I had him voted on my first team.
I had him voted on my first team as well, so I was a little surprised to see him omitted from both the first team and the second team. Obviously a good rookie campaign in the Horizon League for Eli Holman, but he is not represented on the first or second team. Did make, as you mentioned, the all-newcomer team this season. So those are the teams. Obviously, go out and discuss, debate. Tell us what you think about the all-Horizon League teams. Obviously, keep a close eye on the Horizon League Network all week long. We've got plenty to talk about with the Horizon League tournament coming up, obviously, this week. Games get started on Tuesday. So thanks for watching the Horizon League Network. We hope you'll join us all week long for more coverage of the Horizon League Men's Basketball Championship.